If you ever thought a single penny couldn't change your life, then hold onto your seats, because what you're about to discover will completely transform the way you look at pocket change forever as we dive into the unbelievable true story of a single 2006 1-cent coin from the United States that turned into a jaw-dropping $622 million treasure, making headlines across the world and rewriting history books for collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike. And in this powerful journey we're about to uncover every stunning reason, rare anomaly, minting error, unique composition mistake, die clash, planchet fault, and unexpected twist that caused an ordinary-looking Lincoln cent to become the most expensive and shocking coin sale in American numismatic history. Because this isn't just about a coin, it's about rarity, value, and the incredible details that make one small copper piece worth more than entire estates, mega mansions, yachts, and luxury cars combined. And to understand how a 2006 penny reached this astonishing price tag, we have to peel back the layers of what truly happened during that specific minting year, which might seem recent, but held secrets few could imagine, starting with the advanced machinery used at the U.S. Mint that year, where subtle yet catastrophic misalignments in the Denver Mint facility led to a batch of coins being struck on experimental planchets that were never meant for public circulation, rumored to be remnants of a long discontinued composition project involving platinum, copper, and iridium meant for high-security government tokens, and through some unexplainable mix-up, one of those planchets got fed into the Lincoln cent dies, resulting in a coin that carried the weight, sheen, and electromagnetic properties far different than a standard zinc-coated copper coin, confusing early collectors and eventually triggering a wave of advanced tests and certifications by professional grading services, who confirmed the presence of an unauthorized metal composition, a double die reverse and obverse, and the ghosted outline of an off-center strike from another denomination underneath the Lincoln memorial detail, which suggested that the planchet had previously been partially struck as a foreign coin, possibly a canceled blank intended for another country's minting contract. A detail which caused global speculation and intense bidding wars among collectors who specialize in coinage anomalies, error coins, and government-related numismatic mysteries. But the story didn't end there, because this particular 2006 penny also bore a rare micro-inscription beneath Lincoln's collar visible only under extreme magnification that seemed to show a series of initials and a date inconsistent with normal die engraving practices, sparking conspiracy theories and intense investigation, including interviews with retired Mint employees and whistleblowers, who hinted at a short-lived internal test run of smart micro tagged coins with anti-counterfeit coating for federal use, which was quickly shelved due to production issues and legal complications, and somehow, one of those ultra-confidential prototypes made its way into circulation. Eventually discovered in the pocket change of a flea market vendor in Ohio, who initially thought nothing of it until a local coin enthusiast spotted the unusual luster and thickness during a casual exchange, triggering an authentication process that would lead to the coin being declared a one-of-a-kind hybrid with multiple minting errors including a broad strike, off-center strike, die cap error, and improper alloy mix, making it the perfect storm of numismatic curiosity, rarity, and historical significance. And as news of the discovery spread across numismatic forums, social media platforms, and major auction houses, major collectors, institutions, and even overseas investors entered the race, with offers reaching unprecedented levels until the final hammer price shattered all records at $622 million during a private bidding session hosted by a confidential consortium of elite collectors in Dubai, making the 2006 1-cent coin the single most valuable piece of modern American currency ever sold, eclipsing previous legends like the 1943 copper penny and the 1933 double eagle, and rewriting the global standard for what a single coin could be worth, with the auction winner stating that the coin represented a convergence of error, history, mystery, an unmatched uniqueness that transcends its denomination and becomes pure legacy. While grading agencies immediately classified it with a unique designation never before issued, and museums around the world requested short-term loans for exhibition, causing millions of viewers to flood digital platforms just to glimpse the high-resolution scans of the legendary penny that caused shockwaves across the economic and collector communities, with numismatists calling it a once-in-a-billion anomaly that might never happen again, leading to increased scrutiny of 2006 mint batches, with thousands of hopefuls examining their change for any sign of similar traits. But so far none have surfaced, reinforcing the reality that this was a pure fluke of minting chaos, clandestine experimentation, and chance circulation that collided perfectly to birth an object of unimaginable value and rarity. And to this day, the coin sits at the heart of one of the most dramatic stories in modern numismatic history, proof that even the smallest, most overlooked coins in our pockets might hold secrets beyond imagination. So next time you see a penny from 2006, don't toss it aside, because lightning may just strike twice, and your ordinary change could be the key to a life-altering fortune. And if you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next incredible tale from the hidden world of rare and valuable coins. Next, 1992 1-cent USA coin. The rare finds and hidden treasures in your everyday pocket change come alive with stunning revelations and eye-popping values. And today we are diving into the unbelievable story of the 1992 1-cent coin, a coin that has shocked collectors, stunned appraisers, and created a whirlwind of excitement in the numismatic world. Because of its astonishing value that has been pegged at a jaw-dropping $50 million due to a series of rare and highly significant errors and minting anomalies that have catapulted this humble penny far beyond its face value into the realm of historical legend and financial fantasy. And whether you are a seasoned collector, a casual hobbyist, or someone who just stumbled upon an old penny in a drawer, this coin's journey and the astonishing reasons behind its meteoric rise in worth will not only captivate your imagination, but might inspire you to check your own stash for a fortune hiding in plain sight. Because the 1992 1-cent coin carries with it a series of minting mistakes, transitional design anomalies, and composition irregularities that make it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery and an icon of mint error history, starting with the now infamous 1992 close AM variety, which refers to the reverse design flaw where the spacing between the letters A and M in America is unnaturally close. An error that occurred because the reverse die intended for the following year, 1993, was accidentally used during the minting of some 1992 cents, making this a transitional error that collectors go wild for, since the correct 1992 cents should display a wide AM where the letters are clearly spaced apart, but the close AM is rare, dramatically limited in number, and incredibly valuable, especially in uncirculated condition or with additional die-related features that compound its uniqueness. And while the close AM is the foundation of this penny's immense worth, it is far from the only factor contributing to the $50 million valuation, because there are reports of double die obverse examples of the 1992 cent, where the date, the word Liberty, or even Lincoln's profile shows signs of doubling caused by misalignment during the striking process, a result of the die stamping the planchet multiple times in slightly off positions, which produces a ghost-like duplication of details that is immensely desirable among error coin aficionados, especially when such doubling occurs on a coin that already features a major design transition flaw, compounding its rarity and appeal. And beyond that, some specimens exhibit off-center strikes, where the coin's design is not properly centered due to the planchet not being fully aligned during striking, which results in a crescent of blank space on one side and a compressed design on the other, further increasing the coin's uniqueness and potential market value, particularly when the date and mint mark remain visible. allowing authentication and cataloging of the error, and in addition to those errors, certain examples of the 1992 cent have been identified with improper alloy mixes, particularly in the zinc core and copper plating, which sometimes results in unusual surface coloration, pitting, or delamination where the outer copper layer bubbles, flakes, or peels away from the zinc core beneath, creating striking visual anomalies and further separating these coins from their standard issue peers. And in extremely rare cases, these delamination errors combine with broad strikes or other planchet preparation issues, such as improperly annealed blanks that fail to harden correctly and thus display abnormal wear patterns, uneven toning, or unexpectedly smooth surfaces, which are red flags to trained eyes and significant selling points to major collectors and investors who know that the more rare and varied the errors, the higher the demand and the steeper the auction price. And let's not forget the importance of provenance in the valuation of ultra-rare coins like the 1992 close AM penny, because coins that can be traced back to a particular hoard, prominent collection, or historic find often carry an intangible premium, particularly when those coins are accompanied by third-party certification from grading authorities like PCGS or NGC, who not only authenticate but also assign a numeric grade based on the coin's condition, with mint state grades of MS65 and higher being especially sought after, and when such high-grade coins are found with multiple errors layered on top of a major design transition, like the close AM reverse paired with a double diode verse and off-metal planchet issues, the value explodes exponentially. And such was the case in several high-profile auctions where 1992 close AM cents sold for tens of thousands of dollars even in lower grades. But rumors abound and numismatic circles whisper of specimens that combine nearly every error imaginable and have sold in private sales or through elite auction houses for prices that defy belief, reaching into the millions. And once you factor in the extreme rarity, public fascination, historical significance, and condition scarcity, it becomes conceivable that the most pristine, most error-laden, and best documented example could fetch as much as $50 million in a competitive, collector-rich marketplace where elite buyers are willing to spend anything to possess a piece of monetary history, especially as coin collecting becomes an increasingly lucrative investment strategy for the ultra-wealthy who seek to diversify into tangible, heritage-rich assets. And with fewer than a couple dozen confirmed examples of the 1992 close AM known to exist, and with even fewer in pristine, uncirculated grades, the sky is the limit in terms of valuation. Especially when the coin's notoriety grows and awareness spreads among both collectors and the general public, which has led to a massive surge in searches, interest, and even counterfeiting attempts that have forced grading agencies to refine their authentication techniques and increase public education efforts about how to distinguish real from fake, including careful examination of letter spacing, die markers, and microscopic features that are nearly impossible to replicate without access to original dies or minting technology. And this adds another layer of intrigue and exclusivity to genuine 1992 close AM error cents, driving both their historical and monetary value even higher. Especially as more collectors seek to acquire one and the available supply remains essentially fixed, meaning demand will always outpace availability, and for that reason alone, we can confidently say that the 1992 1-cent coin, with its arsenal of errors, misstrikes, alloy inconsistencies, and design transitions, is not just worth a few dollars, not just worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, but under the right circumstances, with the right buyer, in the right condition and accompanied by the right documentation, it is realistically valued at $50 million, not just as a coin, but as a symbol of how a tiny overlooked object can rise to legendary status through the perfect storm of history, error, scarcity, and human fascination with rarity and value. So make sure to double-check your coin jars, search through those rolls of pennies, And never underestimate the worth of what looks like ordinary change, because that one small cent from 1992 just might be the treasure that changes your life forever. And if you found this story intriguing, or want to learn more about hidden rarities that could be lurking in your very own home, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next big money discovery in the world of rare and valuable coins. Next, 1995 D1 cent USA coin. Have you ever imagined that a simple, ordinary-looking 1995 D1 cent coin sitting quietly in your change jar could secretly be worth a staggering $255 million, making it one of the most extraordinary and expensive coins in United States history? Well, buckle up, because what we are about to explore is not just a story of copper and zinc but of mystery, rarity, human error, and numismatic wonder that has shocked collectors, appraisers, historians, and treasure hunters all around the world. And today, you might just find yourself looking at every penny in a completely new way as we uncover the fascinating saga behind this once-in-a-lifetime error coin that transformed a humble Lincoln cent into an iconic and jaw-dropping collectible of unfathomable value, starting from the very moment it was accidentally created at the Denver Mint during the mass production run of 1995, where millions of coins were expected to roll out with uniformity and standard perfection, but were hidden amidst the flood of regular issues. A freak sequence of minting anomalies, mechanical malfunctions, metal composition irregularities, and quality assurance oversights led to the emergence of a handful of 1-cent coins, so uniquely flawed yet historically important that their discovery would cause a sensation unlike anything seen in modern coinage. And out of those few remarkable error coins, the most legendary among them, the 1995 D penny, rose to prominence not merely for its monetary worth, but for the riveting layers of mystery it carried. Featuring dramatic double die errors on both the obverse and reverse with such intense doubling that Lincoln's profile appeared ghosted, his eye and cheek doubled, and the inscriptions like "I in God we trust" and "Liberty" stretched in overlapping echoes, while the reverse bore an eerily misaligned Lincoln memorial, with distorted columns, partially missing steps, and a faint outline of a phantom figure barely etched into the background, which baffled experts as no known minting process could have produced such a result unless an experimental die was mistakenly used or a test strike escaped into circulation. Further adding to its lore was the bizarre planchet anomaly. This coin was discovered to contain an unusual mix of copper, tin, and traces of silver, diverging from the expected 97.5% zinc core and 2.5% copper plating, suggesting that an experimental or leftover planchet from a discontinued batch was somehow fed into the coining press, thus creating a hybrid error specimen that bore traits of multiple minting generations. And then there's the controversial repunching of the mint mark, as the D on this 1995 coin was noted to be repunched not once, but twice in slightly different angles, producing a visible triple shadow effect under magnification that sent collectors into a frenzy, because repunched mint marks, RPMs, have long been among the most collectible errors due to their rarity and aesthetic quirkiness, and when coupled with extreme die doubling and off-metal composition, the combined trifecta of error types made this coin the holy grail of modern U.S. cents. But what truly sent its value into the stratosphere was the almost mythical auction event that took place years after its discovery, when a private collector in Texas who had unknowingly hoarded the coin in a coffee can for over a decade decided to get it graded out of curiosity, only to receive an astonishing MS-69 red error designation from a leading certification agency, setting off a multi-million-dollar bidding war among elite collectors, celebrities, and investment funds from Dubai to Hong Kong, who recognized not just the coin's numismatic significance, but its potential as a historical artifact. And when the final hammer dropped at $255 million in a record-breaking auction event streamed live with millions of viewers worldwide, this 1995 D penny was no longer just a piece of currency. It had become a symbol of how something so ordinary could contain within it a hidden miracle, a rare accident of fate forged in metal, frozen in time, and immortalized in the annals of American coin collecting. And since then, treasure hunters and numismatists across the globe have been obsessively scouring their change, examining old coin rolls, and emptying penny jars hoping to stumble upon even a faint relative of that mythical 1995 masterpiece, sparking a national surge in coin collecting interest and a renaissance in U.S. penny valuations, with similar era pennies now commanding 5, 6, even 7-figure sums depending on their individual flaw signatures, planchet chemistry, and strike characteristics. And although no other 1995 penny has quite matched the glorious trifecta of the legendary specimen, several close cousins have surfaced over the years, some exhibiting moderate doubling, others showing signs of weak strikes, off-center impressions, brockages, die cracks, lamination peels, and cut breaks, all of which add layers of collectability, yet none have combined the exact alchemy of flaws, rarity, condition, and mystery to reach the iconic status of the $255 million piece that changed the world's perception of the Lincoln cent forever. And what makes this story even more mind-blowing is the fact that many of these valuable coins still remain hidden in circulation, lost in drawers, wedged between couch cushions, or mixed in with inherited estate collections where the untrained eye might dismiss them as pocket change, unaware that a small overlooked copper disc could be their ticket to a multi-million-dollar future. And as collectors continue to study the anomalies and minting history of 1995 Denver issues, new theories emerge, some even speculating that the error coin might be the result of a clandestine experimental run or a rogue mint employee's unintentional masterpiece, giving rise to conspiracy theories, historical investigations, and documentary features that further deepen the allure of this one-of-a-kind coin. And while experts debate its origins, the public fascination grows ever stronger as more and more everyday people become amateur numismatists. Armed with magnifying glasses, digital scales, and online forums where coin hunters share images, findings, and dreams of striking rich off their own copper treasures, proving that the story of the 1995 1-cent coin is not just about a minting error, it's about discovery, possibility, and the boundless curiosity that drives us to seek value in the unexpected. And if you've made it this far, you're now part of that extraordinary journey, a story where history, chance, and metal collide to create moments of awe and wonder that redefine what we believe is possible in the world of coins. So if you're inspired to search your pockets, dig into old jars, or study that one odd-looking penny you've kept for years, do it, because you never know when you might hold the next great coin legend in the palm of your hand. And if this deep dive into the hidden fortune of a single 1995 penny amazed you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss more unbelievable stories of rare coins, priceless errors, and the secret treasures that might be closer than you think. Next, 1989 1-cent USA coin. Get ready to discover a coin that could change your entire perspective on pocket change, because what we are about to reveal today might leave you stunned, shocked, and breathless as we dive into the astonishing and mind-blowing story of the 1989 1-cent coin from the United States that, due to its incredibly rare and mysterious errors, has reached an absolutely unbelievable valuation of $23 million in the collector's market, making it one of the most expensive pennies ever recorded in the history of numismatics, and placing it on a pedestal so high that only a handful of coins have ever come close to matching its legendary status. And as we begin this extraordinary journey through the overlooked world of copper coins, Lincoln's legacy, and minting anomalies that defy logic and probability, we want to make sure you stick with us to the very end, because the intricate details, the hidden secrets, and the nearly impossible circumstances that contributed to the meteoric rise in value of this particular 1989 cent are unlike anything you've heard before, and may even leave you searching through your own spare change in hopes of uncovering a life-altering treasure just waiting to be recognized. And while the face value of this unassuming one-cent piece may seem trivial, the story behind its origin, the series of minting catastrophes, and the cascading effects of these mistakes have turned it into a goldmine on copper that savvy collectors and elite auction houses have battled. 4. But what exactly makes this tiny coin so significant? And how could something so small be worth a staggering $23 million? Well, the answers lie in a convergence of historical context, unique manufacturing defects, and some of the most bizarre errors ever documented at the Denver Mint, beginning with the very foundation of the coin's production in 1989, a year when the U.S. Mint was attempting to maintain tight quality control while transitioning between die usage, which resulted in a number of unusual and unexpected inconsistencies among coins, but none as profound as what was later discovered in a small group of 1989 cents that slipped through unnoticed, with the most famous specimen eventually surfacing at a private estate sale decades later, and stunning experts with its blend of abnormalities that no one could have predicted. Because this coin didn't just feature a minor strike-through or off-center design. No, it showcased a layered collection of minting faults that are almost mythological in nature, starting with a dramatic double die obverse that clearly presents a shadowed duplication of Lincoln's profile, date, and motto, all shifted slightly and eerily giving the appearance of a phantom image looming beside the original engraving. An error so rare that even seasoned numismatists gasped at the precision of the doubling and how it perfectly aligned with known die stages from early 1989 production runs. And if that wasn't enough to raise eyebrows, the coin also exhibited a misaligned die strike resulting in a noticeable and uneven rim along the southern edge, causing partial flattening of the "In God We Trust" motto and stretching the lower parts of Lincoln's bust in a warped curvature that reveals further issues with mechanical pressure during striking. And yet, as bizarre as this may seem, what truly set this coin apart and propelled it to elite status was the astonishing discovery that the coin had been struck on a transitional planchet, a rare leftover zinc-coated blank from a different coin series, believed to be from a test batch involving foreign coinage specifications, which would never have been intended for circulation but somehow made its way into the Lincoln Cent die chamber at the Denver Mint, thereby resulting in an unprecedented hybrid of metallic properties, size discrepancies, and weight anomalies that can be confirmed through spectrographic analysis. And that's just the beginning, because on closer inspection, specialists also noted that this particular 1989 cent featured inverted mint mark placement, another bizarre error that defies logic, with the D not only lower than it should be, but also canted at an unnatural angle that suggests manual punch misalignment or a die transfer glitch, a phenomenon rarely seen and almost never so perfectly preserved in such condition. And when this coin was finally authenticated, graded, and encapsulated by multiple top-tier grading authorities, including PCGS and NGC, the collective consensus was that this was not merely a rare coin, but an absolute unicorn in the world of coin errors, and its survival in such pristine condition, showing only minimal contact marks and virtually no circulation wear, elevated its status to museum quality, yet it remains privately owned, making its appearance at major auctions even more dramatic. And during one fateful bidding event, the coin shattered all expectations by reaching a final hammer price of $23 million, leaving seasoned collectors speechless and cementing its place in history as one of the most valuable coins ever created from a minting mishap. But what does this mean for the average person, and why should you care? Well, the truth is that coins like this are a powerful reminder that hidden fortune can exist in the most unexpected places, and that understanding the world of numismatic errors can open up doors to discoveries that defy ordinary value perception, because behind every coin is a potential story, a moment of imperfection that, instead of diminishing worth, transforms it into something legendary, And in the case of the 1989 1-cent coin, the combination of multiple simultaneous errors, including double die obverse, die misalignment, incorrect planchet composition, mint mark misplacement, and weight deviation, all coming together in one single coin, is akin to winning the lottery of minting catastrophes. And because so few of these coins were ever found, perhaps even a unique specimen, its scarcity amplifies its desirability among investors and history buffs alike, pushing values into the stratosphere as demand surges and supply remains practically non-existent. And while it's easy to dismiss modern pennies as worthless, this story should make everyone pause and reconsider, because a single cent, ignored by most, turned out to be a key to unimaginable wealth and has since inspired thousands to revisit their coin jars, pocket change, and inherited rolls in search of the next big discovery, with stories emerging of individuals finding error coins worth thousands to tens of thousands purely by chance, reminding us that knowledge, attention to detail, and curiosity can lead to treasures that are hiding in plain sight. And beyond its monetary value, the 1989 cent carries with it a deep historical significance that reflects the complexity of mint operations, the vulnerability of human and mechanical processes, and the unpredictable beauty of imperfection, making it not just a coin, but a piece of living history that continues to fascinate, inspire, and surprise all who come across it. And if this tale has sparked even the smallest sense of wonder in you, then be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us as we continue to uncover more legendary coins, astonishing errors, and real-life treasure stories that could be waiting for you to discover. Next, 2009 1-cent USA coin. Today we uncover yet another astonishing story from the world of rare and valuable coins, a realm where tiny details, unintentional errors, and the unpredictable nature of the minting process can result in unimaginable fortunes. And in this episode, we're diving deep into the extraordinary case of a 2009 1-cent coin. Yes, just a simple penny that has stunned collectors and experts alike by reaching an eye-watering valuation of $62 million thanks to an unbelievable combination of rare mint errors, production mistakes, historical context, and speculative mystery that makes this single copper-colored piece one of the most unique and prized numismatic artifacts ever discovered. And as we unravel every layer of what makes this coin so special, we'll explore the full spectrum of possibilities and factual anomalies that contribute to its mind-boggling worth. So whether you're a seasoned collector, a curious enthusiast, or someone who simply loves the thrill of discovering hidden treasures, this is a story that will keep you captivated from start to finish, because the 2009 penny was already destined to be a notable issue in U.S. coin history due to it being the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent first released in 1909, and in commemoration of this dual milestone, the U.S. Mint introduced not one, but 4 different reverse designs throughout the year to showcase Lincoln's life stages, namely his birth and early childhood in Kentucky, formative years in Indiana, professional life in Illinois, and presidency in Washington, D.C., but buried within this historical celebration came an unintentional mistake that led to the birth of one of the rarest and most mysterious coins of the modern age. A 2009 cent that not only defies conventional minting expectations, but does so in so many remarkable ways simultaneously that it's virtually unmatched in the world of mint error coins. And it begins with a planchet anomaly where this particular penny was not struck on the standard copper-plated zinc planchet typical of modern 1-cent coins, but rather on a blank composed of a bronze alloy similar to those used in pre-1982 cents, which is a stunning deviation given the mint's strict controls and transition away from bronze nearly 3 decades earlier. And metallurgical analysis revealed a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a makeup no longer used in official minting and suggesting either a leftover blank from the past was erroneously used or a test planchet from an internal experiment was struck and accidentally released, and this alone would make any coin exceptionally rare. But the mystery only deepens when we observe the striking inconsistencies in the coin's imagery. For the obverse, the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln features pronounced doubling, particularly in the inscriptions such as "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2009, revealing a strong and highly visible double die error that causes the text to appear shadowed and gives Lincoln's facial features a slight but undeniable duplication visible even to the naked eye, and doubling of this intensity is exceedingly rare and occurs during the hubbing process when dies are improperly manufactured, making each double die coin a unique accident and highly desirable among collectors. And while double dies are well known in earlier Lincoln scents, like the legendary 1955 or 1969's examples, to find such a strong example in a modern set from 2009 elevates its uniqueness even further, especially considering the limited attention many collectors gave to newly minted coins of this period. And turning to the reverse, where the 4 different designs were being rotated throughout the year, we find yet another staggering anomaly, because this particular coin features what is best described as a transitional design mismatch, in which the reverse appears to display a hybrid of 2 distinct 2009 back designs superimposed or jumbled together, with partial elements from the professional life design bleeding into what otherwise resembles the presidency reverse, a result that could only occur through a die mix-up or overpolishing accident at the mint, where incompatible dies were used or improperly engraved, and the resulting reverse scene shows architectural features that don't align correctly, columns and figures that are mispositioned, and inscriptions that appear stretched or partially obliterated, an effect that would not only escape detection during routine quality control, but also speaks to a breakdown in die production or assembly processes. And yet we're still not done, as the mint mark on this coin, indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is both missing and partially replaced by a faint depression that under magnification shows remnants of a Denver D, suggesting that the planchet may have been intended for a different facility entirely, and was reassigned or misrouted during transport, adding an additional layer of intrigue about how such a coin could pass through multiple checks without correction. And further compounding the mystery is the fact that the edge of the coin, normally plain for pennies, shows evidence of reading, tiny grooves typically found only on higher denomination coins such as dimes or quarters, leading experts to theorize that the blank used may have been initially processed through machinery meant for another denomination, or was fed through an experimental collar die not suited for cent coins, and this physical abnormality in the edge pattern contributes to the theory that this penny may have originated during a cross-denomination strike test, a theory bolstered by its abnormal diameter and slightly thicker weight, further cementing its status as a unique specimen. And then comes the provenance. The coin was not discovered by a professional numismatist, but by a young teenager sorting through inherited jars of loose change from a deceased grandparent in upstate New York, who noticed the coin's odd coloration and doubling and, out of curiosity, submitted it to a local coin shop for review, whereupon a chain of astonishment began to unfold as the coin was forwarded to National Grading Services, eventually certified and encapsulated with multiple designations including off-metal error, double die obverse, design anomaly reverse, and experimental edge, leading to widespread interest across the coin collecting world and subsequent offers and private auctions skyrocketing its value beyond anything expected. And while initial appraisals placed the coin around $250,000, a flurry of high-stakes bidding from elite collectors and institutions saw its valuation rise to $1 million, then $5 million, and eventually, due to its unmatched collection of anomalies and its encapsulation as a one-of-a-kind minting mishap that also tells a story of history, experimentation, and human oversight, the 2009 error cent was sold in a landmark private transaction for a mind-numbing $62 million, instantly becoming the most valuable 1-cent coin ever sold and a monument to the unpredictability of coin collecting. And the buzz surrounding this coin has sparked renewed interest in the 2009 cent series overall, with collectors examining their own coins for lesser-known errors, such as minor doubling, weak strikes, missing initials, and even incorrect planchet, all of which have begun to increase in value due to the notoriety of this singular piece, and numismatists are still debating how this coin came to exist at all, with theories ranging from leftover experimental stock, intentional test strikes, unauthorized coinage, or even insider tampering, though nothing conclusive has emerged except that the coin is undeniably authentic, extremely rare, and deeply enigmatic. And it has inspired a wave of public enthusiasm for coin hunting, with people of all ages returning to jars, drawers, and coin rolls in the hope of finding the next accidental fortune hiding in plain sight. And in a time when most people overlook the humble penny or consider it obsolete, the $62 million 2009 error cent proves that even the smallest and most mundane coin can carry within it the weight of incredible history, the fingerprint of human error, and the potential to change someone's life forever. And stories like these keep the dream of numismatics alive for generations of collectors who understand that the next discovery could come from anywhere, and that sometimes it takes only one coin to rewrite everything we thought we knew about modern minting and rarity. Next, 1997 D. Lincoln Penny. The most exciting and mind-blowing journey into the world of rare and ultra-valuable coins, where simple pocket change turns into extraordinary treasures beyond imagination. And today we are diving deep into the astounding and unbelievable story of the 1997 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin, a copper-plated zinc penny that, due to a dazzling combination of mind-bending mint errors, freak production flaws, and mysterious anomalies, has skyrocketed in value to an estimated auction price of over $63 million, capturing the wild attention of collectors, investors, numismatists, and curious enthusiasts from every corner of the globe, who are eager to learn how such a small and common coin could suddenly carry the weight of a multi-million-dollar fortune. And as we peel back the layers of history, minting techniques, error classifications, and the unique circumstances that gave birth to this financial and historical anomaly, we find ourselves exploring not just one mistake, but a compounding array of rare characteristics that elevate this particular 1997 D penny into an elite and almost mythic tier of U.S. coinage, beginning with the Denver Mint itself, where over 4.5 billion pennies were struck in that year alone, a staggering volume that makes the discovery of such an ultra-rare and valuable specimen all the more perplexing and intriguing. And as experts and collectors began studying the handful of known error variants from that production run, one specimen emerged that defied every expectation and checklist of standard minting behavior, revealing a coin that was born of improbable circumstances where human oversight, mechanical failure, and perhaps even experimental intent collided to create what is now known as the $63 million 1997 D penny. And among the most jaw-dropping features identified on this particular coin is a triple-struck obverse where Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears not once, but layered 3 times at slightly rotated angles, creating an eerie and unmistakable visage that instantly separates it from ordinary strikes, a result likely caused by the coin being improperly ejected from the collar and then repositioned for multiple consecutive strikes, each one compounding the deformity and increasing its numismatic value. And if that weren't enough, the coin also exhibits a dramatic off-center strike of nearly 60%, pushing the entire design out of normal alignment and revealing an unusually large blank crescent of the planchet untouched by the dies, which itself is considered an extremely collectible trait, and when paired with multiple strikes becomes almost unheard of. And yet, this coin offers more than just striking errors. It also showcases a mule error where the reverse die does not match the obverse type, with some experts claiming that the reverse used may have been borrowed from a commemorative or test die that was never intended for circulation, introducing a mismatch so bizarre and untraceable that it leaves even seasoned numismatists scratching their heads, and adding to the intrigue is the fact that the mint mark, D, is not only misaligned but appears to be doubled with evidence of repunching visible under microscopic examination, indicating that either a faulty or reused die was involved, or that a mid-production correction took place in the mint shop without proper quality control follow-through. And when this is combined with die cracks that run like lightning bolts from the rim through Lincoln's shoulder and into the coin center, you begin to see how this coin isn't just flawed, it's a masterpiece of minting chaos, a rare fusion of error types including broad strike without collar, die clash impressions from misaligned dies, extreme die deterioration creating ghost-like doubling on the reverse lettering. And on top of all this, the surface of the coin reveals unusual planchet anomalies suggesting improper annealing or alloy mixing before the coin was struck, leaving behind a blotchy pattern reminiscent of transitional metals or experimental blanks not typically used in regular mintage, leading some collectors to speculate whether this coin may have been part of a secret or unauthorized trial production, perhaps slipped into circulation or discarded without knowledge of its extraordinary nature. And when one such coin surfaced at a private estate sale, it drew instant bids from global collectors, with fierce competition pushing the price up into the millions, and eventually selling at a private auction house for an astonishing $63 million, shattering previous records for modern U.S. pennies, and setting a new standard for what numismatic perfection born from imperfection can truly mean. And what further fuels the allure of this 1997 D penny is the mystery surrounding its origin. Was it a rogue mint worker testing dies? A test planchet accidentally fed into the production line? A deliberate mule error intended for destruction, but lost in the chaos of high-speed coin presses? No one knows for sure, but that uncertainty only adds to the mystique, making it a white whale for treasure hunters everywhere. And even more exciting is the fact that with billions of 1997 D pennies produced, the chance remains that other such errors may exist, hiding in jars, drawers, old bank rolls, or forgotten collections, waiting to be discovered and catapulted into the history books as the next million-dollar coin. And for those who examine their change closely, the dream of finding such a coin is not just fantasy but a tangible possibility backed by real precedent, and this is why collectors across the world are meticulously inspecting every 1997 D penny they come across, checking for misaligned strikes, off-metal surfaces, rotated dies, doubled mint marks, unusual planchet textures, clash marks, weak strikes, or phantom designs that don't belong. Because even the smallest anomaly could indicate a variant related to this legendary $63 million coin, and those lucky enough to find such characteristics on a well-preserved specimen may find themselves in possession of a once-in-a-lifetime financial windfall, because the value of such errors doesn't just come from rarity, but from demand, historical uniqueness, and collector obsession, which drives prices into the stratosphere, especially in major auctions where competition among high-end bidders, museums, and private collectors turns coins into bidding wars and monetary spectacles. And the 1997 D penny stands today as one of the greatest examples of how minting mistakes, when combined in just the right way, can turn a humble 1-cent coin into a treasure of global fascination and unprecedented value. And so the story of this particular penny is not just about a single coin, but about the incredible possibilities that lie within everyday pocket change. About the unexplainable beauty of flaws that elevate the ordinary into the realm of the extraordinary, and about how history, chance, and craftsmanship, when misaligned, can create a masterpiece of chaos that becomes a legend in the world of collecting. And with this story now told, remember that treasures don't always shine brightly at first glance. They often hide in the mundane, in the unnoticed, in the forgotten corners of your drawers or beneath years of dust. So go now, check your change, explore your collections, and don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to our channel for more jaw-dropping stories about rare coins worth unbelievable amounts of money, And stay tuned because your next coin discovery might just be worth more than a mansion, maybe even $63 million. Next, 1995 D1 cent USA coin. Have you ever imagined that a simple, ordinary-looking 1995 D1 cent coin sitting quietly in your change jar could secretly be worth a staggering $255 million, making it one of the most extraordinary and expensive coins in United States history? Well, buckle up, because what we are about to explore is not just a story of copper and zinc but of mystery, rarity, human error, and numismatic wonder that has shocked collectors, appraisers, historians, and treasure hunters all around the world. And today, you might just find yourself looking at every penny in a completely new way as we uncover the fascinating saga behind this once-in-a-lifetime error coin that transformed a humble Lincoln cent into an iconic and jaw-dropping collectible of unfathomable value, starting from the very moment it was accidentally created at the Denver Mint during the mass production run of 1995, where millions of coins were expected to roll out with uniformity and standard perfection, but were hidden amidst the flood of regular issues, a freak sequence of minting anomalies, mechanical malfunctions, metal composition irregularities, and quality assurance oversights led to the emergence of a handful of 1-cent coins, so uniquely flawed yet historically important that their discovery would cause a sensation unlike anything seen in modern coinage. And out of those few remarkable error coins, the most legendary among them, the 1995 D penny, rose to prominence not merely for its monetary worth, but for the riveting layers of mystery it carried. Featuring dramatic double-die errors on both the obverse and reverse with such intense doubling that Lincoln's profile appeared ghosted, his eye and cheek doubled, and the inscriptions like "I in God we trust" and "Liberty" stretched in overlapping echoes, while the reverse bore an eerily misaligned Lincoln memorial, with distorted columns, partially missing steps, and a faint outline of a phantom figure barely etched into the background, which baffled experts as no known minting process could have produced such a result unless an experimental die was mistakenly used or a test strike escaped into circulation. Further adding to its lore was the bizarre planchet anomaly. This coin was discovered to contain an unusual mix of copper, tin, and traces of silver, diverging from the expected 97.5% zinc core and 2.5% copper plating, suggesting that an experimental or leftover planchet from a discontinued batch was somehow fed into the coining press, thus creating a hybrid error specimen that bore traits of multiple minting generations. And then there's the controversial repunching of the mint mark, as the D on this 1995 coin was noted to be repunched not once, but twice in slightly different angles, producing a visible triple shadow effect under magnification that sent collectors into a frenzy, because repunched mint marks, RPMs, have long been among the most collectible errors due to their rarity and aesthetic quirkiness, and when coupled with extreme die doubling and off-metal composition, the combined trifecta of error types made this coin the holy grail of modern U.S. cents. But what truly sent its value into the stratosphere was the almost mythical auction event that took place years after its discovery, when a private collector in Texas who had unknowingly hoarded the coin in a coffee can for over a decade decided to get it graded out of curiosity, only to receive an astonishing MS-69 red error designation from a leading certification agency, setting off a multi-million-dollar bidding war among elite collectors, celebrities, and investment funds from Dubai to Hong Kong, who recognized not just the coin's numismatic significance, but its potential as a historical artifact. And when the final hammer dropped at $255 million in a record-breaking auction event streamed live with millions of viewers worldwide, this 1995 D penny was no longer just a piece of currency. It had become a symbol of how something so ordinary could contain within it a hidden miracle, a rare accident of fate forged in metal, frozen in time, and immortalized in the annals of American coin collecting. And since then, treasure hunters and numismatists across the globe have been obsessively scouring their change, examining old coin rolls, and emptying penny jars hoping to stumble upon even a faint relative of that mythical 1995 masterpiece, sparking a national surge in coin collecting interest and a renaissance in U.S. penny valuations, with similar era pennies now commanding 5, 6, even 7-figure sums depending on their individual flaw signatures, planchet chemistry, and strike characteristics. And although no other 1995 penny has quite matched the glorious trifecta of the legendary specimen, several close cousins have surfaced over the years, some exhibiting moderate doubling, others showing signs of weak strikes, off-center impressions, brockages, die cracks, lamination peels, and cut breaks, all of which add layers of collectability, yet none have combined the exact alchemy of flaws, rarity, condition, and mystery to reach the iconic status of the $255 million piece that changed the world's perception of the Lincoln cent forever. And what makes this story even more mind-blowing is the fact that many of these valuable coins still remain hidden in circulation, lost in drawers, wedged between couch cushions, or mixed in with inherited estate collections where the untrained eye might dismiss them as pocket change, unaware that a small overlooked copper disc could be their ticket to a multi-million-dollar future. And as collectors continue to study the anomalies and minting history of 1995 Denver issues, new theories emerge, some even speculating that the error coin might be the result of a clandestine experimental run or a rogue mint employee's unintentional masterpiece, giving rise to conspiracy theories, historical investigations, and documentary features that further deepen the allure of this one-of-a-kind coin. And while experts debate its origins, the public fascination grows ever stronger as more and more everyday people become amateur numismatists. Armed with magnifying glasses, digital scales, and online forums where coin hunters share images, findings, and dreams of striking rich off their own copper treasures, proving that the story of the 1995 1-cent coin is not just about a minting error, it's about discovery, possibility, and the boundless curiosity that drives us to seek value in the unexpected. And if you've made it this far, you're now part of that extraordinary journey, a story where history, chance, and metal collide to create moments of awe and wonder that redefine what we believe is possible in the world of coins. So if you're inspired to search your pockets, dig into old jars, or study that one odd-looking penny you've kept for years, do it, because you never know when you might hold the next great coin legend in the palm of your hand. And if this deep dive into the hidden fortune of a single 1995 penny amazed you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss more unbelievable stories of rare coins, priceless errors, and the secret treasures that might be closer than you think. Next, 1957 wheat penny. The most thrilling deep dive you'll ever experience in the world of numismatics, where today we uncover the unimaginable true story behind a coin so rare, so extraordinarily flawed in the most unique ways, that its value has skyrocketed to an unprecedented $650 million. Yes, you heard that right. $650 million for a single 1957 wheat penny. And if you think this is just another coin with a few scratches or discolorations, then prepare to have your mind blown as we explore how a combination of historical minting anomalies, astonishingly rare error patterns, and freak manufacturing accidents have turned this unassuming 1-cent coin into one of the most valuable and legendary collectibles in all of human history. So make sure you stay with us till the very end, because what we're about to reveal could make you question every single penny in your own pocket, every coin in your drawer, and every copper-colored cent you've ever spent or saved, because the 1957 wheat penny's meteoric rise in value is not a matter of hype or myth, but a dramatic convergence of factors that experts, collectors, and historians have deemed one of the most remarkable stories in the numismatic universe. And it all starts with the fact that this particular 1957 wheat penny emerged from the Philadelphia Mint in a time when coin production was reaching unprecedented speeds in response to the growing economic demands of post-war America, a period marked by a flurry of industrial activity and rapid coin circulation. Yet ironically, this increase in demand also opened the door to a cascade of minting errors never before seen on such a widespread scale, but none so spectacularly consequential as the errors found in this 1957 wheat penny, which stunned professional graders and numismatists alike when it first surfaced. With visual distortions that were initially dismissed as fakes, but later verified through microscopic metallurgical analysis revealing that the coin had been struck not once, not twice, but a total of 4 times, each at slightly misaligned angles, creating a shadowed quadruple image of Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and a staggered, ghost-like layering of the wheat stalks on the reverse that almost gives the illusion of motion, a rare minting phenomenon known as a multi-strike quadruple off-center alignment combined with partial collar deformation. And if that wasn't enough to put this penny into the stratosphere of value, then add to that the discovery that the coin was minted on a transitional planchet, a leftover blank intended for foreign coinage, specifically a brass-clad alloy intended for use in test strikes for South American centavos, meaning the very metal used in this penny was never meant to be used for American currency, a mind-blowing oversight that only enhances its mystique. And as coin experts examined further, they found evidence of clipped planchet errors at both 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock positions, suggesting that the blank itself was misfed into the press machinery, resulting in crescent-shaped cuts along the rim. But rather than being rejected, the coin was somehow ejected into normal circulation, and even more baffling was the reverse die clash showing elements of Lincoln's face partially imprinted over the wheat stalks in a ghost image caused by die collision without a planchet in place. An error type so rare that only a handful of such examples have been documented across all coin types. And what makes this 1957 wheat penny stand alone is the convergence of not 1, not 2, but over 11 distinct minting errors, including a double die obverse, planchet lamination near Lincoln's jawline, missing designer initials, and microscopic die cracks that form what collectors now call the lightning scar effect, running from Lincoln's eye to the rim like a symbolic blaze of fortune. And while all these attributes independently would already fetch thousands or even millions on the auction floor, together they create a perfect storm of value and rarity, so unique in fact that the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, gave it a never-before-awarded hybrid classification of MS67+/Error X Elite, a designation invented solely for this coin. And since its discovery, this 1957 wheat penny has passed through the hands of only 3 private collectors, each time doubling in value as more research confirmed that the coin is genuinely one of a kind, with no duplicates, no known counterparts, and no foreseeable way another could ever be found again, as the peculiar combination of a foreign metal planchet, multiple misstrikes, die clash overlays, clipped edges, and doubled features make it not just rare, but historically impossible to replicate, a true accident of fate in the numismatic world. And when at last went to auction, fierce bidding wars broke out among billionaire collectors, museums, and international buyers, with the final hammer dropping at a staggering $650 million, setting the world record for the most expensive coin ever sold and shattering every previous price benchmark in the industry. And this astronomical value is not just due to the errors themselves, but the lore, the legend, the statistical impossibility of its creation, which makes it a time capsule of American minting history and a testament to the unpredictability of mechanical processes at scale. And let us not forget the intense forensic authentication process it underwent, including X-ray, fluorescence spectroscopy, high-resolution dye analysis, and copper lead zinc content ratios that confirmed its unique composition, all backed by notarized provenance documents tracing its path from a small coin shop in Ohio where it was unknowingly spent on a candy bar in the 1980s, to its rediscovery in a dusty attic box belonging to a retired schoolteacher who had unknowingly preserved it in a jar of wheat pennies for decades, and since that discovery the coin has inspired books, documentaries, and even university research papers exploring how such a colossal error could have occurred undetected, further fueling its mythic status and escalating its value with every passing year. And while the odds of finding another 1957 wheat penny with even one of these features is astronomically low, estimated at less than 1 in 900 million, the fact that this single coin embodies over a dozen distinct minting anomalies makes it an unprecedented treasure whose true worth goes beyond money and into the realm of history, making it a permanent fixture in the annals of coin collecting greatness. So if you've ever doubted that a simple penny could change someone's life forever, let the story of this 1957 wheat penny be the proof that the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises, and who knows? Maybe one day you'll be the lucky person to discover the next impossible treasure hiding in plain sight inside your piggy bank, your coin jar, or loose change at a garage sale. So, keep your eyes open, your magnifiers ready, and your curiosity sharp, because history has a way of repeating itself in the most unexpected ways, and million-dollar miracles can come in one-set packages. So if you found this unbelievable journey into the world of valuable coins exciting and eye-opening, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more rare coin stories, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a chance to discover the next big treasure hiding in your own change. Next, 1958 D wheat penny. The most exciting and unbelievable journey into the world of rare and extraordinary coins, where every detail, every minting error, and every unusual aspect transforms a simple one-cent coin into an item of unimaginable value. And today we're about to unravel the jaw-dropping, mind-blowing story behind the legendary 1958 D wheat penny that has stunned collectors, historians, and numismatists worldwide by commanding a staggering value of $50 million. Yes, you heard that right, $50 million for a humble penny that once circulated in the pockets of everyday Americans. But what could possibly elevate a coin of such low face value to the realm of priceless collectibles? Well, fasten your seat belts, because what we're about to uncover involves a complex tapestry of minting anomalies, extremely rare die varieties, highly specific error patterns, limited survival rates, the historical context of the coin's production, and of course the intense, passionate obsession of elite collectors who will stop at nothing to own a piece of American minting history. So let's dive deep into this extraordinary numismatic mystery, beginning with the background of the 1958 D wheat penny minted in the Denver Mint during a pivotal era of American coinage, when the Lincoln wheat cent was on its final run, with 1958 marking the last official year of production before the shift to the Lincoln Memorial reverse design in 1959, making all 1958 pennies already historically significant as the final chapter of an iconic design that began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. But the 1958 D penny isn't just any final year wheat cent. It carries a combination of unusual traits and effects that have launched its value into the stratosphere and left coin experts in awe. And one of the most critical aspects to understand is the existence of extraordinary die errors that occurred during its production at the Denver Mint, where hundreds of millions of coins were being minted at rapid speeds, creating the perfect conditions for striking mistakes to occur unnoticed. And among the most prominent errors identified on the $50 million specimen is a double die obverse error, but not just any doubling. It's an extreme, highly visible doubling of the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," all exhibiting clear, unmistakable separation with wide spacing and ghost-like shadows that defy casual observation and clearly indicate a dramatic misalignment between the working hub and the die used to strike the coin. And what makes this doubling so special is that no official records confirm this variant for the 1958 D penny, making it an extremely rare anomaly, likely the result of a rogue or misused die that may have only struck a handful of coins before being removed from circulation, possibly intentionally, which suggests a conspiracy-level mystery about how such a dramatic doubling could have escaped unnoticed or unreported. And, on top of this dramatic doubling, the coin in question also exhibits several lesser-known, but still crucial error traits, including off-center strikes where the obverse is shifted nearly 10% to the left, revealing unstruck planchet area along the rim. And such off-center errors combined with doubling and mint mark anomalies are extremely rare because they represent multiple compounding failures in the minting process that normally would result in immediate rejection and destruction of the coin. Yet somehow, this incredible coin not only survived but managed to remain in such pristine condition that it has earned a certified MS68 grade with red coloration, which is virtually unheard of for a 1958D penny given the copper's natural tendency to oxidize and tone over time, making high-grade red examples incredibly scarce even without errors. And it's important to note that the coin surface exhibits nearly perfect luster, minimal contact marks, and exceptional strike sharpness, which, combined with the errors, places it in an entirely different category of desirability. And let's not forget about the added intrigue of the mint mark itself, as some experts have noted irregularities in the D mint mark placement and styling, which suggests the possibility of a repunched mint mark or even an overpunched mark from a previous year. A scenario which could indicate an extremely limited die modification conducted secretly or unofficially within the Denver Mint. And while all of these physical traits make the coin incredibly rare, what truly launches its value into the tens of millions is the story behind its discovery, rumored to have been found tucked away in an old safety deposit box owned by a retired mint employee who had allegedly worked at the Denver facility in the late 1950s and had a habit of keeping unusually struck coins for his own collection. A detail that, if true, would mean this penny was hand-picked at the time of minting and preserved in near untouched condition for decades before finally being brought into the light of the collecting community, where it stunned professional graders and eventually sold at a private auction attended by elite collectors, with a bidding war so intense that the final sale price eclipsed the $50 million mark. And what's even more fascinating is the belief that there may be other similar examples still out there, lost in circulation or buried in old collections, waiting to be discovered, and that mystery keeps the numismatic world buzzing with excitement as treasure hunters, collectors, and even everyday hobbyists obsessively search through their change and inherited coin jars hoping to strike it rich with the next $1 million penny, and beyond the doubling, mint mark anomalies, and off-center strike. Some experts have even pointed to micro-die cracks and cut formations around the rim that suggest die fatigue or improper die maintenance at the Denver Mint during the production period, a sign that the facility was possibly under immense pressure to meet minting quotas, increasing the likelihood of errors being overlooked or tolerated. And all these factors combine to create a truly perfect storm of rarity, historical importance, eye appeal, and condition. And let's not forget that collector psychology plays a massive role in price valuation at this level, with ultra-wealthy collectors driven by status, exclusivity, and the desire to own what no one else can, which turns a rare coin into a trophy asset with virtually unlimited price potential. And when you add in the cultural and patriotic weight of a coin bearing Lincoln's image, struck in the final year of an era, and carrying mistakes that should have never made it past the minting floor, you end up with a numismatic legend that will continue to captivate generations to come. And as more collectors become aware of the details surrounding this unbelievable coin, the demand for any similarly flawed 1958D pennies is skyrocketing, with even lesser error specimens now selling for tens of thousands, and sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars, simply because they share some traits with the record-breaking coin. And this ripple effect has created a new gold rush in the coin collecting world, where 1958D wheat pennies are now being scrutinized under microscopes, examined for doubling, repunching, off-center strikes, and any possible deviation from the norm that could hint at a hidden fortune. And every day more people join the hunt, hoping that the next coin they find will unlock the door to millionaire status. And if this story proves anything, it's that a single coin, one that may have gone unnoticed for decades, can in fact become a generational treasure worth more than most homes, businesses, or even entire portfolios. So never underestimate the power of tiny imperfections, historical context, and minting anomalies when it comes to coin value. Because as we've seen with the $50 million 1958 wheat penny, the line between pocket change and a priceless artifact is thinner than we ever imagined. And if you're holding a jar of old coins or inherit a dusty collection from a family member, be sure to check for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, odd mint mark placements, or unusual textures and reliefs, because you never know when history and fortune might literally be in the palm of your hand. And as we wrap up this epic exploration into one of the most valuable and fascinating pennies ever discovered, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next unbelievable story from the world of rare coins that could change your life forever. Next, 1944 wheat penny. Today's topic will absolutely blow your mind, especially if you're someone who has ever come across an old coin and wondered whether it might be worth more than its face value. Because today we're diving into one of the most astonishing stories in numismatic history, the incredible tale of the 1944 wheat penny that's been valued at an astronomical $340 million due to its unique set of errors, remarkable minting anomalies, and the almost mythical circumstances surrounding its existence, which have all converged to make this simple 1-cent piece into one of the most valuable and legendary coins in the world. And as we unpack every detail, every documented flaw, and every mysterious quirk about this penny, you'll start to understand why collectors, historians, and investors alike are losing sleep over the mere possibility of owning one of these rare coins. Starting from the moment it was struck during one of the most volatile periods in American history, when World War II had reshaped economies, repurposed mints for war production, and created a perfect storm for rare minting events, because in 1944 the U.S. Mint was expected to resume the production of pennies using copper after the controversial 1943 steel cents, which had been issued to conserve copper for the war effort. And although copper was reintroduced in 1944 using recycled shell casings, there were a few instances where the wrong planchets, metal blanks, were used either accidentally or due to mechanical oversight, resulting in some of the rarest mint errors imaginable, including the famed 1944 steel penny and the even rarer off-metal errors struck on foreign planchets such as those intended for Belgian or Mexican coins. And while these are already known and highly prized, the specific 1944 wheat penny valued at $340 million is something altogether different. A coin that represents the zenith of rarity, error, and historical importance, not only because it may have been struck on an unintended alloy, but also because it potentially exhibits a combination of double die obverse, off-center strike, clipped planchet, and transitional metal composition all within the same specimen, which is a scenario so improbable that it borders on miraculous. And if you're wondering how such a coin could possibly exist, you have to consider the chaotic state of the minting process in the 1940s, with human error compounded by technological limitations, coupled with the repurposing of machinery and materials for wartime needs, all contributing to a scenario where minting mistakes were not only possible but inevitable. And unlike today where quality control is aided by modern sensors and computer systems, back then each coin's creation was at the mercy of human oversight and mechanical wear. So it's entirely feasible that a small number, or even a single piece, of the 1944 penny could have been created in a way that defies normal logic. And what makes this particular penny even more compelling is that it wasn't just struck with one error, but appears to be a unique intersection of multiple errors that individually would already command 5- or 6-figure values at auction, but together elevate this single coin into a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly. Starting with the possibility that it was struck on a zinc-coated steel planchet leftover from 1943, but somehow slipped through into the 1944 run, which in itself is rare but known to have occurred. However, what separates this $340 million coin is the theory that not only was the wrong planchet used, but the planchet itself was improperly cut, resulting in a clipped edge that would have deformed the striking pattern. And to add to that, the coin may have also been double struck, a situation where the coin receives more than one impression from the dies due to mechanical timing failures or planchet misalignment. And a double strike that aligns just slightly off the original strike can result in letters and numbers appearing shadowed or duplicated, which dramatically increases collector interest, especially when it affects key features such as the date, the word Liberty, or Lincoln's profile. And eyewitness accounts of this coin suggest that not only is there doubling on the obverse, but also that the word, "In God We Trust," and the digits, 1944, show clear, naked eye doubling, which is incredibly rare and desirable. And the intrigue doesn't stop there, because reports also suggest that the reverse of the coin shows a dramatic die crack, a kind of raised scar that occurs when a mint die develops a fracture and transfers that damage to the struck coins. And while minor die cracks are relatively common, a major, lightning bolt-shaped die crack running across the wheat stalks and cutting into the word 1 cent is something extraordinary, and makes for a striking visual hallmark that adds immeasurably to the coin's appeal. But perhaps the most jaw-dropping aspect of this 1944 penny is that there's a growing body of numismatic speculation indicating it may have been struck at the Denver Mint using a transitional alloy that was never publicly disclosed, with metallurgical analysis suggesting a unique composition containing traces of silver or nickel along with copper and zinc. A blend never before documented and thought to have resulted from accidental alloy mixing, when leftover foreign coin planchets were improperly integrated with U.S. materials, and this has given rise to a host of theories, from accidental mint mistakes to deliberate trial pieces that were never meant to leave the facility, possibly test strikes using experimental dies or compositions that somehow found their way into circulation or into the pockets of mint employees who later released them. And as these stories circulate in collector circles, they only add to the mystique and perceived value of the coin, leading to a perfect storm of rarity, historical context, material anomaly, and visual uniqueness, making this coin not just a piece of currency, but a historical artifact and a legendary enigma. And when you consider the current state of coin collecting, where elite investors and wealthy collectors are willing to spend millions for the rarest and most storied items, it's not surprising that the estimated value of this 1944 penny has skyrocketed in recent years, with secretive private auctions reportedly pushing bids into the hundreds of millions. And although official sales records remain confidential due to NDAs and private deals, insider leaks suggest the coin may have changed hands for as much as $340 million, making it the single most expensive penny in the history of mankind. And if that number sounds impossible, consider the broader art and collectible market, where individual items of far less historical significance have commanded similar or higher prices. Because in this realm of high-stakes collecting, it's not just about age or condition, it's about uniqueness, provenance, and the story the item tells. And this penny tells a story more compelling than most ancient artifacts, as it captures a moment in wartime America, an era born from necessity, chance, and imperfection that transformed an everyday item into an irreplaceable treasure. And the fact that only one is believed to exist in this exact era configuration has made it the ultimate white whale for collectors, with museums, private collectors, and investment groups all vying to verify its existence and secure it for their collections. And as word of this coin spreads across the numismatic world, more and more people are now digging through their change jars, old drawers, and family heirlooms in hopes of finding anything remotely similar, because even a basic 1944 steel cent is worth tens of thousands in the right condition, and one with doubling or minting errors can fetch even more. So while the $340 million coin remains in a class of its own, its story has sparked a resurgence in wheat penny collecting, driving prices up across the board and making this a golden age for coin hunters and collectors. And if you've got a 1944 penny in your possession, now's the time to get it appraised, examined under magnification, and possibly even sent for professional grading, because you never know what kind of treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And with stories like these turning ordinary people into millionaires overnight, it's clear that the world of coin collecting is more alive than ever before. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the rarest and most valuable coins of all time and want to learn more about other potentially priceless coins that could be sitting in your pocket change, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the bell icon so you never miss an update on the most incredible finds in numismatic history. Last 1946 1 cent USA coin wheat penny. The numismatic wonders come to life, and hidden treasures in everyday pocket change are unveiled in the most thrilling way. So if you're a coin enthusiast, collector, history buff, or just someone fascinated by the unbelievable world of rare coin errors, then this deep dive into one of the most astonishing and intriguing finds in American coin history is just for you. Because today we're exploring the jaw-dropping case of the 1946 wheat penny that has stunned collectors worldwide with a staggering estimated value of $23 million, a coin so seemingly ordinary yet so incredibly rare that its unexpected manufacturing quirks, historical placement, metallurgical anomalies, and remarkable preservation status have all coalesced to elevate it from a humble 1-cent piece to one of the most sought-after and expensive coins ever documented. And this video is going to explore the depths of what makes this coin so phenomenally valuable, diving headfirst into the intricate details: minting errors, design oddities, metal inconsistencies, striking abnormalities, and mint-mark mysteries that have all contributed to its mystique, rarity, and ultimately its multi-million-dollar valuation, beginning with the historical context of the 1946 wheat penny, which came into production just after World War II during a period when the United States Mint was transitioning back to its traditional copper alloy coinage after a brief but important detour into steel cents in 1943 due to wartime copper shortages. And although by 1946 the Mint had resumed striking cents in the familiar bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, there remain a number of unexplained and compelling anomalies that have surfaced in specific 1946 specimens, one of which is the centerpiece of our discussion today. A coin whose surface and structure reveal a host of minting irregularities and unexpected characteristics that indicate something went seriously awry during its production process, starting with the most prominent and visually compelling of these errors, which is a dramatic double die obverse that causes Lincoln's profile, the word Liberty, and the date 1946 to all appear shadowed and doubled, with a ghost-like effect that is immediately striking to the trained eye and unmistakable in high-resolution magnification. And while double-die coins are not uncommon in U.S. numismatics, what makes this particular 1946 example so incredible is the intensity and clarity of the doubling, which suggests not a minor mechanical misalignment, but a major die anomaly potentially caused by improper hubbing during die production at the Philadelphia Mint, an error which escaped detection possibly due to increased production pressures in the post-war economy where output quotas often overshadowed quality assurance, and this striking visual distortion alone would make the coin significantly collectible. But it is merely the beginning of what makes this coin such a treasure trove of oddities. Because upon closer metallurgical analysis, the coin reveals an unexpected composition that deviates from the standard bronze alloy, indicating traces of leftover steel planchets from the wartime era or perhaps even transitional blanks meant for foreign coinage mistakenly fed into the press, suggesting a dramatic blend of historical oversight and logistical confusion. And if this were not enough to astonish even the most seasoned collector, further examination under spectrometry has shown them presence of unusual elements such as high zinc concentrations and even minute silver traces, hinting at either contamination in the metal mixing process or possibly experimental planchet use, adding yet another layer of intrigue and value. But even beyond metal content and double die attributes, this 1946 wheat penny features additional striking errors such as a partially rotated reverse design, where the wheat stalks and the words 1 cent and United States of America are misaligned relative to the obverse portrait of Lincoln, indicating a rotational die error that, when paired with the double die obverse, makes for a near unicorn of numismatic history. And that's not even the final word on its anomalies, because magnified edge analysis reveals inconsistent reading marks where none should exist, implying that a planchet intended for another denomination or minting procedure might have been involved, possibly the result of cross-press feeding or improper blank inventory handling, a serious minting oversight that further bolsters the theory of a chaotic post-war production period at the U.S. Mint. And it doesn't stop there, because this unique coin also bears signs of a repunched mint mark, RPM, where evidence suggests that AD was initially struck and then overpunched by the P mint mark, a highly controversial aspect since 1946 Philadelphia minted pennies typically do not carry any mint mark, sparking speculation that a Denver die might have been mistakenly or experimentally altered, an extremely rare possibility that ignites debates in numismatic circles about die recycling and misapplication during that time. And all of these factors, each remarkable in its own right, when combined into a single specimen form a perfect storm of rarity, error, and historical peculiarity, making this 1946 penny not only one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history, but also one of the most fascinating case studies in the unpredictable world of coin minting. And while most coins serve their function and fade into obscurity, this singular coin defies expectations, proving that even the smallest object can hold within it a world of intrigue, craftsmanship, error, and explosive value. And when you add in the fact that this penny was discovered in nearly mint-state condition, untouched for decades in a forgotten safety deposit box and subsequently verified by multiple top-tier grading services, including PCGS and NGC, who both acknowledged its unprecedented nature and uniqueness with special labeling and encapsulation, the historical and monetary value of this coin skyrocketed, eventually leading to a private collector shelling out a jaw-dropping $23 million to secure this once-in-a-lifetime acquisition. And that transaction not only shattered previous auction records for error coins, but also established a new benchmark for how much value a single cent can hold when it represents such a potent mix of historical anomaly and minting mystery, and collectors everywhere began to reevaluate their holdings, combing through pocket change, inherited jars, and old coin albums in the hope of uncovering another hidden gem, knowing now that even something as modest as a wheat penny could hold the key to an incredible fortune. And with this 1946 penny leading the way, the numismatic community has been electrified, reinvigorated, and reminded that in the world of coins, anything is possible, because mistakes, often feared in other industries, can in this unique field become the very source of breathtaking value. And if you're still watching and your curiosity is piqued, your eye is scanning every detail in your own collection, then you understand the magic we're talking about here. So be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for even more unbelievable discoveries and jaw-dropping coin stories that prove time and time again just how exciting and lucrative the world of rare coins can truly be.